is Eyewitness News This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us at 7 o'clock. I'm Tracey McCain, and you're watching Eyewitness News on the Wax. We have a lot to talk about, but first, let's say hello to meteorologist Jill Gilardi for a check of your first alert forecast. And you have been saying we would get some festive snowflakes, and here they are.
They are here.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue to move across the state. So if you're not seeing snow yet, don't you worry, you're going to see some of those flakes fly. But we had a report from one of our weather watchers in Wolcott. It is snowing there. We've had snow already in Torrington. And where you're seeing the lighter blue, that would be lighter snow. So it's possible some of this is reaching the ground, but the bulk of it right now has been back to the west. And where you see the deeper blues, well, that's coming down at a moderate clip. So we do anticipate some of the higher amounts to occur across western Connecticut versus the eastern part of the state. And the ground is very cold from all that cold air we've been dealing with. So quickly you're going to get a coating. Could be some slick spots out there this morning. So some of that lighter snow breaking out across Fairfield County, points northward. Certainly seeing some of those deeper blues. Wedgwood blues, as Scott would say. That's coming down across Litchfield County. So snow's breaking out west to east. We've been watching the cams very closely. Visibility is dropping now significantly. Extreme western Connecticut. Look at that. It is certainly a snowy view in Torrington. Very festive there. We've been seeing some of those flakes at times reaching at the airport and Windsor Locks, 31 degrees, and it is snowing and just waiting here any moment now for that snow to reach the ground in Waterbury. I do want to show you just a couple of pretty views. New Haven, that's gorgeous. It gets even better. Old Saybrook, and I want to show you this one as well. Oh, it looked so much better like 5 minutes ago. But anyways, it is a great looking start to the day, minus the fact there could be some slick spots. Much more in that forecast coming up later. Tracey has an update on traffic. You're a little busy now.
Yeah, we went from 0 accidents to 3 accidents, and now we have 1 crash to let you know about. So things are improving out there. This is in Berlin, where there's a crash on Route 9 southbound, exit 31 on the off-ramp. The left lane is closed in that case, but police and DOT are on the scene, and they expect to have it cleared within the next 20 minutes, according to our report. So just kind of pack a little patience out there, take it slowly, because there are some trouble spots out there. Taking a look at our quad box here, Hartford, Waterbury, Middletown, and Meriden are all clear. You do see that crash at the bottom of your screen in Berlin that they're investigating, but really that's the only incident happening right now out on the road. So look at I-95 and Longworth Drive shows heavier volume in terms of traffic, but still no incidents to report. So let's keep it smooth out there. I'm Tracey McCain with your Connecticut Chevy First Alert Traffic Report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers. All right, some good news as you're heading out the door this morning on I-91 South in Rocky Hill. It is back open after a tractor-trailer crash. State police tell us a car collided with that tractor-trailer near exit 23. The car's motor skidded across the highway, leaving the road covered in oil. DOT had to bring in sand trucks to clean up the spill. The road is now clear. Well, this morning, crews in Westport are investigating after a Christmas tree caught fire, causing extensive damage. You can see it here on your screen. It happened late last night. Thankfully, no one was hurt. An investigation underway this morning after a man was killed in a tragic accident. Police say a 68-year-old man was hit with a skid steer. That's a drivable piece of heavy machinery. It happened early yesterday morning on Fletcher Road. We learned the man bent down and the driver could not see him while he was backing up. OSHA is now investigating. Right now, crews are trying to figure out what started a deadly fire in Bridgeport, leaving a family without a home just days before Christmas. Officials tell us the 2-alarm fire broke out just before 5 yesterday evening on Connecticut Avenue. 3 others were taken to the hospital, and 8 people, including 4 children, are now without a home. We'll bring you the very latest as we learn more. Happening right now this morning, a man behind bars after a deadly crash in Basra. This crash happened back in April on Route 163. But state police say 20-year-old Michael Cream of Norwich just turned himself in. He's being held on a $250,000 bond, and he is facing charges including manslaughter and reckless driving. Also this morning, Luigi Mangione has pleaded not guilty on state charges after United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down in New York City earlier this month. Channel 3's Lilia Luciano is bringing you what his defense attorney has to say.
Luigi Mangione was led into a Manhattan court with his hands shackled to his waist. Once inside, he entered a plea on New York State murder and terror charges in connection with the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson earlier this month. Mangione was arraigned on 11 charges, including murder as an act of terrorism. Defense attorney Karen Friedman Agnifilo told the judge she's very concerned about her client's right to a fair trial.
He's being prejudiced by some statements that are being made by government officials. Like every other defendant, he is entitled to a presumption of innocence.
She also took issue with what she called a spectacle of a perp walk when he arrived in New York last week to face federal charges.
He was on display for everyone to see in the biggest staged perp walk I've ever seen in my career.
Prosecutors say they've never seen such a volume of evidence and vowed to stay in bounds.
We will comply with our ethical obligations with respect to trying this defendant's guilt in this courtroom and this courtroom alone.
The judge guaranteed that Mangione will receive a fair trial. The defense also demanded immediate access to all the evidence.
I think what it frankly telegraphs to us is that, one, it is high profile, two, it is complex, and three, the defense is going to try and exclude, which would always be the case, I think, as much evidence as is possible.
Mangione is being held in a Brooklyn federal jail. If convicted on the most serious state charges, Mangione faces a maximum sentence of life in prison without parole. A federal conviction could lead to the death penalty. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, New York.
Mangione's next hearing for the state charges will be in February. Right now, we've learned he's in bars in the same facility as Sean Diddy Combs. Well, this morning, everyone is okay after a house fire in Naugatuck. Police say the fire broke out early yesterday morning on Sunset Drive. Fire crews found flames in the basement and smoke damage throughout the home. The homeowners were out of state at the time of the fire, but they're on their way back now. Right now, this morning, 3 men facing charges after skimming ATMs throughout Hartford County. Investigators say they received a tip from Liberty Bank that skimming devices were found at multiple branches. Police were able to trace the suspect's car and arrested these 3 attempting to tamper with an ATM on the Silas Dean Highway in Wethersfield. They were found with a card skimming paraphernalia, and they are now all in custody. Well, this morning we are right now working to learn what started this fire that displaced 15 people in the capital city. This fire broke out on Adams Street in Hartford just before 5 yesterday morning. We brought it to you live on Eyewitness News yesterday morning. You can see the flames in this video just burning on the first floor. Crews were able to get the fire under control, battling frigid temperatures. Nobody was hurt, thankfully, and fire officials are investigating. Well, there is still time to help Santa bring Christmas to everyone this holiday. Happening this morning, it's the last day of the 35th annual Holiday Store. Your reporter Cassidy Williams is live in Avon with how you can help. Good morning.
Good morning. We're here with Dan Gaffney, a teacher at Maloney High School who swung by to make a donation that you kind of help fundraise with your students. Tell us about this project.
So we start the Monday after Thanksgiving. I ask all of my students to give $1 to the Salvation Army, and then we collect it for the next this year for the next 3 weeks. And we raised over $200, $265 to be exact, for the Salvation Army.
Why do you think it's important to teach the students about kind of what the Salvation Army does and about giving back this time of year?
Because I think a lot of our kids know the struggle that some of the families that the Salvation Army helps goes through. We are a community that comes together to rally around people who need some support, and I think the Salvation Army does the same thing. And so a lot of our kids can identify with helping those who are less fortunate and helping those that need it.
And how quickly just $1 from each person can add up to really make a difference here.
Exactly. So, you know, I'm as a former assistant coach of a basketball team. We used to say, you know, that 5 individuals can't make a difference. You know, like the 5 individuals playing, you know, separately don't make a difference. So when you touch your opponent, you're not really doing anything. But when you form a fist, you pack a punch, literally. And so I think that's the same message that I try to convey to my students, that $1 might not make a difference, but together we can make a big difference.
Yeah, what an incredible message. Now, Dan is just one of the people that have stopped by already this morning, making donations to the WTIC holiday drive and holiday store here, all for the Salvation Army. They will be here until noon. If you want to swing by, you can also text in your donation. For now, your reporter live in Avon, Cassidy Williams, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Cassidy, for that. We want to show you some snowy views right now, and it is happening. The snow's coming down in Torrington. Now, taking a look at some of the roadways there, not looking too bad, but there's certainly been some of that snow coating some of those roads, especially back roads, anything untreated, so some slick spots. But look at that. Looks like a little winter wonderland there. We've zoomed in very nicely, and you can see that snow coming down at Windsor Locks as well. 31 degrees at that location. And let's take a look at First Alert Live radar. The snow has been expanding eastward, coming down in Simsbury now. Looks like Plymouth reports in the Wolcott of that snow. Actually, some of that snow reaching all the way down towards Reading, maybe New Canaan. And we'll also watch this continue that journey eastward across the state as we progress through this morning. It's only a morning around, so this afternoon it will get better. Travel conditions, a little slick out there. Visibility certainly has come down significantly across extreme western Connecticut with that kind of moderate snow coming out of there. So we'll keep you updated on the snow forecast and more on this Christmas Eve.